Greetings and welcome to Pinball Help. Mike here. Today I'm working on this Guns N' Roses pinball machine, and some people were playing it last night and the ball shooter just stopped working. So I pulled the game up. This is where the ball shooter goes, right like that. And a wire was broken. This wire was broken. So it's a good example of where if you see something that's it's always nice to see an obvious, simple thing. The coil wasn't burned out. This wire had just broken off. So I was going to fix it, but I've got an interesting experiment that I'm going to do. This is already a higher power coil than I believe what's originally in the game. This is a 22-600. That means it's 22 gauge wire, 600 windings. This is a higher power, I believe this is a higher power coil than what came stock in the game. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Guns N' Roses, it has this large wire form up here on the top. When the ball kicks out, it goes all the way up this wire form up to the top of the machine and then dumps it up top. Well, this coil can kick one ball up there, but if for some reason the ball doesn't get all the way up and rolls back down, say during multi-ball, and it goes to kick several balls into play and they get stuck in the shooter lane, the coil is not powerful enough to kick them all out. So what ends up happening is the balls get stuck and the game stops playing. I believe that probably in earlier versions of the software it would just keep firing the coil over and over and over because it kept sensing there was balls there, and it would literally burn the coil up. Later software versions of the game, it was smart enough to tell, hey, something's really wrong, I'm going to stop firing that coil, and it would just, that's it, it would stop working. The game would no longer play because it wouldn't kick the ball out into the shooter lane. So they came up with a couple of fixes, more powerful coil, but it never really did the trick. So the real fix was a service bulletin that they put out back when the game first came out, where they actually redid this ramp. So instead of it going all the way up to the top, it kind of went right up here and dumped the ball into the right out lane and had it come down to you. The problem is those updated ramps were only available for a limited time, and now they're gone. There's no repros made of them, so they're unobtainium. So this means that if you have a Guns N' Roses with the original ramp, you're kind of screwed. It's clearly a flaw in the design of the game. So short of me trying to fabricate my own ramp, which may possibly be an option in the future, I'm going to try something different. I found another coil that is even more powerful than this one. This is a 20 gauge 400 winding coil. That's about a 6.2 ohm coil. This is about a 5.2 ohm coil. So I'm going to try this coil in replacing of that just to see if by chance this more powerful coil, which as far as I know is the most powerful coil that is obtainable, short of, say, taking that coil and removing a bunch of windings and making it more powerful, which that could be the next option. So I got this coil, I've got a diode on here. I'm gonna wire that diode up. First I need something to solder on. Some piece of wood or something. Don't want to melt that chair. Okay, so live video. First step is to put the soldering iron on and tap these. This thing is loose. Somehow the soldering iron got loose, but now it's really hot, so I can't tighten it. So that's a pain in the butt. Let me see. It's always something. Check your soldering iron before you turn it on to make sure that it's working right. Okay. I'm just going to set this diode into it. There we go. Dab on this side. And then a little bit of fresh solder on these pads. Introduce new solder to the old solder so that it will be easier to solder to. Okay. And so this is just going to be an experiment to see if this coil will work as well as this other one. There's probably some kind of diminishing returns on what I can really expect from this. So I will note that the yellow with the purple is on the side of the coil where the band is. And I will note that the wires are coming up from the same side of this. You can hand me that coil. So we'll see. Why can't I get this off? Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to swap out the sleeves. This sleeve, put this in there like that. Okay, so there's our revised coil. Hold on to that for a second. Let's get this undone. Alrighty, now this will go onto here. You want to come over here and just hold this right like that. Well, wait, it's got this thing underneath it, so you need to hold it like that. Okay, good. Let's tell you what, hold it flat, so, and you can turn it like that. That'll work perfect. I'm going to need to get some solder. Good to have an extra set of hands here, though. Okay, that's Ray off of the camera. Okay, so hold it flat. Actually, you could hold it like that, it's fine. Just try to keep it still. It's not a particularly good hold right there, but let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Okay. I'm going to tin this first, so. Okay, I got this. All right. So there's our new coil hooked up. We're going to see if this is going to work. Where's that thread lock? I'm going to go get that, use that a little bit of that. it'll be interesting to see if this more powerful coil will make that much of a difference or not. So we shall find out. Okay. So we'll put a little drop on there. So we could do it right here in front of the camera. That's good. Okay. You can put a drop on the other one. Perfect. All right. So, like a pit stop, like a pit crew. Oh, you know what? Look, this is the wrong orientation. Darn it. Got to pay attention to that. So this has got to be undone. Hopefully I can